Alright, hey, I got a video for you guys. It's a tale of two Speedmasters, and by tale this is strictly going to be non-scientific based anecdotal evidence that I found interesting. This is a tale of the thickest Speedmaster in the world and the thinnest Speedmaster in the world. And by the world, I mean my collection. But I'm fairly certain this very well may be the thickest Speedmaster in the world. And please, if you know better, you know where to write it. Leave a comment. If you and by thicker by the thickest Speedmaster in the world, I'm obviously not including the Alaska project or like one-off iterations, but this is the Mark III. Most people are fairly familiar with the Mark III, or maybe you're not. It's fairly rare. I mean, it's sometimes hard to come by these watches. It comes in what's called a helmet case. They actually made the Mark III in 3 different case types, but this is the helmet case with the black dial, the classic Speedmaster layout. It does say Speedmaster Professional on the dial. And this has the Lamania movement with 2 sub-registers. This register here has both a 24-hour register as well as a running seconds. And then down here you have an hour totalizer. And then of course, like if you're familiar with the Lamania movements, you'll know that the airplane hand in the middle here is the minute totalizer. And as the chronograph runs, that's where you're checking your minutes. I think that's easily the most convenient and easiest to read chronograph dial, or at least for the minutes that I've ever seen and that I've ever used. I totally appreciate this, and I'm always way more likely to use this chronograph than I am the chronograph on the 861. Nevertheless, I don't think I've owned this watch for a while, years, I've owned it for about a year now, and I may have never worn it. That's just because when it comes down to these vintage watches, you just I always go for whatever's the most comfortable. I realized after a while that it becomes a little bit disheartening wearing an interesting watch to work and nobody having any idea what it is, and nobody cares. So, I would wear a more interesting watch to a watch show, but at the end of the day, this hobby is it's a thankless hobby, guys. You guys know that. I work as a physician, and I'm a medical student going into residency, and so these, you'd think some doctors would have a clue, but mostly they're all wearing Rolexes, which is totally cool, man. Totally cool. This is a thick one though, and for that reason I do rarely wear it. I could probably count the amount of hours I've worn this watch on one hand. Although I do love the operation of the chronograph, and it's in pristine condition. I mean, this thing is almost mint. It has all the paperwork, etc. But conversely, here's a chronograph function that I don't use as frequently as the Lamania chronograph. This of course is automatic, and this is the 861 with a manual wind movement. And this is the Speedmaster Teutonic. That's a German market Speedmaster. And I wear this at least once a week. Like this is an incredible watch to wear. Whereas I don't ever wear this one. I wear this one all the time. It fits. It is so flush on the wrist. It's very easy to tell time with the super. I mean, this is the classic Speedmaster layout. The black background, the aged lume indices. These are actually applied hour indices that are sort of a silver or stainless steel polished look to them, and the white hands just contrast really well, so it makes it very easy to tell time with this. And the chronograph engagement is nice. It's just like an 861. I find it a little soft compared to the Lemania automatic chronograph. Obviously these are both actually Lemania movements. The 861 is made by Lemania, but nevertheless, it's like it's a little tougher to pick up on how long it's how many minutes have elapsed, simply because I have a few, I have a dozen chronographs, and sometimes there's a 45-minute register, sometimes it's a 30-minute register. And the Lemania automatic is easy. It's just you look in how far along the outer minute track that airplane has gone. You know that it's been that many minutes. It's more intuitive to pick up. It's just like reading a clock. And so nevertheless, I mean, this is a very, very comfortable watch to wear. The bracelet is lightweight, and like it's very typical of when it was made in the 80s, like 1983 or something. And it's a super comfortable vintage feeling bracelet. It feels vintage. I mean, if you're familiar with vintage watches, you'll know that the bracelets feel completely different. The new watches are solid, super solid feeling bracelets, and it's like you're wearing an actual solid bracelet around your wrist, while this is more of like it's something malleable and it moves with you, and it's very, very comfortable. This is very thin, very thin links. I like this one actually. When I bought it, came with the original box and some links in it, so I was lucky to get that. But I mean, it just fits perfectly. It's like a 42 or 43 millimeter case. I actually generally I don't like to be evidence based. I like everything to be anecdotal. That way, everybody can just be left guessing and somewhat unsatisfied. But I brought my calipers. And so let's take a look at the difference in the size of these watches in real time. All right, so with the crown, excuse me so with the crown, and so the crown guard is built into this watch, which I like, and then without the crown it's going to be like 40, 44, or it depends where you're measuring from. Since this is an integrated crown guard, it's like 44 millimeters. It doesn't wear super huge because it's so flowing. And then this watch is going to be, with the crown, 43, which is strange. It seems a lot bigger, right? And then so let's see how deep it is. 12, 12.5 millimeters, and then this one, this big boy, it's gonna be almost 16 millimeters. So yeah, just for continuity, I'll put this one on. Isn't that wild? I mean, I like the bracelet a lot. It's a super comfortable watch to wear, and I think that the bracelet has been broken in a little bit over the years, but I mean, it is fairly mint, the watch, but it's been to Omega, and I assume they've refinished it back to like the factory standard. But it is super comfortable. I mean, it is considerably comfortable, considering that it's so gigantic. Yeah, I think this video is, I may have bored you enough with this arbitrary information regarding these two fairly obscure watches that you're probably not that interested in. So I'll let you be. I've got some more Omegas. I've got some more ones, and so I'll do some more comparison videos. And if you're so inclined, please suggest anything else you'd like me to review. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.